Hello traders, Rich here, and here's a quick but detailed update on Algo. As usual, if you guys like video analysis, let me know in the comments or simply leave a like. So let's get started. As we clearly see, Algo has been overall bullish for a while, making higher highs and higher lows, right? So low, high, and a higher high. And we are currently in a bullish trend, right? And when we are in a bullish trend, we'll be looking for the correction movement to be about to end to catch the next impulse movement. Just like here, correction movement about to end to catch the next impulse movement. And that's exactly what we are doing now. As price is retesting this area, we are in a correction phase and we are looking for buy setups. But we can't really look for any buy setups around any area. We need a rejection area, right? Because when we are in a bullish trend, the impulse or the correction can be like very small or can sometimes go deeper before going up. And you don't want to buy a bearish market because we are clearly now in a bearish market. That's why we'll be looking for extra confirmation and trigger. So now we're looking for buy setups because we are around a demand area. As you can see, we had an aggressive movement upward from it. So that's why now we'll zoom into lower time frames and start to look for buy setups. If we zoom into daily time frame, we can see that this area has been holding for a while. And of course, unless broken downward, then a movement till our next demand would be expected. But for now, since we are around above the zone, we'll be looking for buy setups. And from a market structure perspective, if you zoom in, we can see that we were overall bearish, right? The market was making lower lows and lower highs. We had this impulse correction, then price made a smaller impulse, but still made a lower low. Then price made an even smaller and more flat or flatter impulse, and this time couldn't make a low low and instead made a higher low. Let me zoom in. Here we go. So high, low, slightly lower low, and then the price made a higher low, which gives us an early alert that a potential reversal might happen, which means that the sellers aren't able to push any lower just like they were pushing before. But it doesn't mean that the buyers took over yet, right? We need extra confirmation, which would be a break above the previous high, which is around here, as you can see. So lower high, and the lower high, right? Low and a lower low, then a higher low. So that's why we are looking also for buy setups. Now, if we zoom into H4 time frame, we can see the one that I posted last week, which is a picture analysis that we have a head and shoulders pattern. And so now you know how I came up with this analysis, not just because I saw a head and shoulders pattern. Okay, so from weekly we are around a demand zone, we are overall bullish at the end of the correction movement. From daily, we know that the sellers are exhausted, they are losing momentum, but we are not like we don't have a confirmation yet. For the confirmation, we'll be waiting for a break, a momentum candle close above this area to confirm that the buyers are now taking over. Then and only then we will be buying Algo. Before we continue, I want to tell you about Bitget. Bitget has over 1.5 million users worldwide. It's listed on CMC, CoinGecko, and CryptoAdventure. It's also licensed in 4 different countries, like the US, Canada, Singapore, and Australia. With Bitget, you can trade crypto on margin through the unified contract features, or you can simply buy and hold through the exchange, or also known as spot trading. And the interesting thing about Bitget is that it's one of the largest crypto copy trading platforms where you can simply go here, copy trade, and follow the trader that you like. For example, you like this one, you click on follow. This way, you copy every single trade that he takes. If you don't have an account yet, I'll include the links in the description below. And let's continue. And here's a quick but detailed update on Netflix. As we can clearly see, Netflix has been overall bullish for a while, making big impulse movements, flat correction, big impulse movement, and we are currently sitting around the upper trend line or the upper bound of this entire movement, which I consider an overbought area. That's why we can expect a correction movement till the lower bound trend line, and as you can see the 400 round number, and it was acting previously as support and now resistance, now acting as support. And in this case, as price approaches this area, we'll be looking for trend following buy setups to catch the next impulse movement, just like here and here as well. However, we can't really know when the correction movement is about to start, because for the sellers to take over, for the correction to start, we need to see a break below the structure below this range. In this case, we need to see a break below this area, then and only then we can say that we have a shift in momentum from bullish to bearish from a medium term perspective, and the movement till our lower bound trend line would be expected. But for now, until this happens, we are still overall bullish, and Netflix is sitting around a support area, which is, and as you can see, it around number 500. That's why, meanwhile, until this happens, until a break below this area, would be overall bullish from a medium term perspective, and will be looking for buy setups on lower time frames. Especially if we zoom into daily time frame, we can see that we are currently trading inside this rising, but it's flat, right? But it's still rising channel. So now we know that we are trading inside this area from a medium-term perspective, and price is currently sitting around the lower bound of this overall movement, and as mentioned before, it's from a medium-term perspective. That's why we are also looking, as mentioned, from weekly, because we didn't have a break below the structure, and we're around the lower bound. That's why we are looking for buy setups on lower time frame. Of course, as price approaches the upper bound, we'll be looking for sell setups, and again, if we have a break below this area, we'll be looking for sell, and then we'll be looking for buy. But anyway, let's take it step by step, right? Now we're looking, long story short, for buy setups. If we zoom into M30 time frame, we can see that we've got a channel. If we zoom out, here we go, right? And price is approaching this lower bound, and we are looking obviously for what? We're looking for buy setups. That's why we'll be waiting for price to form a new swing around our upper trend line to consider it valid, because for now it's only connecting these two swings. And for a trend to be valid, we need at least three touches, right? Or three swings. So one, two, and we're waiting for price to form a third one around it to consider it valid, and then and only then we'll be buying Netflix after a break above it, and I call it the trigger. And we're looking for buy setups because we have what? We have a support area from daily time frame as we saw previously, and it's also the round number 500. But meanwhile, until this happens, would be overall bearish, and Netflix can still trade lower and lower before activating the buy maybe above this swing, or even trade lower and break below this entire area, which we just saw from weekly time frame. That's it for me for Netflix. And of course, when the buy is activated, the stop loss would be below the previous, let me fix it, below previous swing low, and we target a 2 to 1 risk reward ratio, which would be around this small supply zone, uh, as we have an aggressive movement downward from it. That's it for me. Best of luck, and I'll see you on the next one.